Is it true that you wrote his Dr. Dre verse for the Watcher?
It's the Watcher 2. It's the one that's on Jay-Z's album. Because the Watcher, the original one was on Dr. Dre's album.
Okay. So
when they did the Watcher 2, it was Rakim, Dr. Dre, and Hov.
Yeah.
And I wrote Dr. Dre verse on it.
Oh, man.
And here's the crazy thing about it.
Oh.
Initially, when we did it, it wasn't for Jay-Z. Like, when I met Dre and I started working with him, I started writing for him. One day he was like, yo, I got a song I did on my album called The Watcher. I want to remix it. And he was like, I want you to write something new for me. So I'm like, cool. So he had put this guitar part in there on a keyboard. But he like, yo, the guitar guy gonna come in tomorrow. When you come back, I may just go to the hotel and write something. So I go to the hotel. I write 2 verses. So when I come in the next day, I say both of them for him. And he like, I like this one better. I was like, cool. So I had to go in there and rap it. I know I'm a fan of this.
Who was that? That was Jay that said that? Or?
Dr. Dre. Dr. Dre. So I went in there and I laid it, and then I wrote it down so he could read it. So he reads it and listens back to it at how I rapped it. So he can go in the booth and do it. So when he laid his part, Eminem and D12 came in. They heard this shit and they was like, man, what the fuck wrote that? It was like, dude right there. And Eminem was like, that shit crazy. I was like, damn, thanks. Because Dre was going to shoot this big video for it. He was going to put out a maxi single and all that. So he like, man, we're going to shoot this big video, all that. I'm like, all right, cool. Musicians, everybody. And 3 days later, he was like, nah, I ain't doing it. I'm going to something else. And I was like, what? It was the first time I had seen the business part, how something could seem like it's about to be
blow up.
And then that quick, it dissipated.
One decision.
So he took the song and shelved it, right? And then maybe a year or so later, my manager called me and I was in Philly and he was like, yo, I heard that song, the joint you wrote, Dre, that Watch It, Hov on it. I said, Hov on it? He like, yeah, man, he gave it to Hov for his album. And Hov put like a 32 bar verse on there.
Yeah.
But Dre 16 that I wrote said nice next to
then y'all got Rakim on there too.
Rakim's on it. And his verse
was 30. That was his 30 song.
Yeah, I mean, so to me, that's just a testament of when you're doing what you do at the level that need to be done at. Because when I first, I got to tell you the story of how I met Dr. Dre. So when you asked me about Rob and Wayne, all right. So Wayne was my neighbor, right? He was an OG from my block. My mom lived here. His mom lived here, but he older than I am.
Right.
So he was managing Rolex when we was doing the figures thing. So one day he hit me up and he was like, yo, I sent the Major Figures album. This is when we put out independently. So my homegirl in LA, she sang and she let Dr. Dre and them hear it. And I'm taking Rolly to LA to meet Dr. Dre. So I'm like, oh man, that's what's up. He's like, man, you should come out with us. So I'm like, no, that's Rolly opportunity. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't go out there for it. But I remember how Nora was telling me about LA and whatnot. So when he asked me the second time, I was like, no, man, y'all go do y'all thing. When it was me they really wanted to hear, you know what I'm saying? They was going to listen to Rolly too, but they was asking who I was.
Oh.
So the third time he asked me, I was like, well, I've never been to LA before. So, man, all right, cool. I'll go. And when we get to LA, Dre was gone for the weekend. But his partner was a guy named Melman that was his production partner. And these musicians. So they was like, yo, Dre not here. I mean, he went away with his wife for the weekend, but he left these beats for you. So I went in the booth and they had 10 beats that played back to back. Fast, slow, mid-tempo. And I like blacked out on all of them. And then All-Star Weekend was going on that weekend in Oakland.
Yeah.
When the one when Vince Carter put his arm in the joint. So we left Dre in the studio and went there. Me and a bunch of cats from Mary Avenue.
Yeah.
So when the weekend was over, we was about to fly back to Philly. And then they called and they're like, yo, Dre came back and heard what you did. He wants you to come back to LA. So we fly back to LA. I go to the studio. So I got to meet him for the first time. And he like, damn, nigga, I think you hot. So he like, I'm about to go on the road with Eminem. He's like, but when I come back off the road, I want to lock in the studio with you. And I was like, oh man, listen, I'm with it.
Yeah.
So he's like, yo, we're going to be in contact. And then that's how I eventually moved to LA when he came off the road and start, assigned to Dr. Dre and start working with them.